Hello there. Today's book is I Love You, Daddy. Written by Gillian Harker, illustrated by Christina Stevenson. Let's get started. You're getting tall, little bear, said Daddy Bear. Big enough to come climbing with me. Little Bear's eyes opened wide in surprise. Do you really mean that? Said Little Bear. Daddy Bear nodded. He led Little Bear to a giant tree. Little Bear tried to scramble up onto the lowest branch. He tumbled backward. Oh no! Daddy Bear nudged Little Bear. Daddy Bear tugged Little Bear. You can do it, he whispered. And suddenly, Little Bear found that he could. I love Daddy, thought Little Bear. You're getting brave, Little Bear, said Daddy Bear. Daring enough to gather honey with me. Little Bear gasped. Could I really? Daddy Bear winked. He led Little Bear to another tree and pointed to a hole in the trunk. Little Bear reached out his paw. A furious buzzing filled his ears. Little Bear pulled his paw back. Just be quick, Daddy Bear said. You have thick fur. The bees can't hurt you. You can do it, he smiled. And suddenly, Little Bear found that he could. I love Daddy, thought Little Bear. You're getting smart, Little Bear. Smart enough to find a good winter den. Little Bear grinned. Do you really think so? I know so, said Daddy Bear. Little Bear set off. Not too far from food, said Daddy Bear. Ready for when spring comes, Little Bear sniffed the wind. Look for high ground, said Daddy Bear, to keep us dry. Little Bear padded up over the rocks. Somewhere safe and warm, said Daddy Bear. Away from danger, called Little Bear as he disappeared into a deep cave. Daddy Bear followed. He looked all around. Perfect, he said. I love Daddy, thought Little Bear. Did I climb well? Little Bear asked on the way home. You did, replied Daddy Bear. Was I brave? Asked Little Bear. You were, answered Daddy Bear. Did I find a good den? Asked Little Bear. The very best, smiled Daddy Bear. I'm proud of you, Little Bear. Soon, Little Bear and Daddy Bear reached home. And suddenly, Little Bear felt very tired. But there was something he wanted to say. I love you, Dad, began Little Bear. But he didn't finish. Daddy Bear stroked Little Bear's head. I love you, too, he said. And that is the end of the story. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.